Hey guys, what's up? I know you didn't come here to hear me talk, you came here to hear me read. So, I'm gonna keep this short. I am sorry that this is taking so long. I know it doesn't take you guys months to listen to these videos, so, I think I said this before, I'm gonna try my best to put more videos out, like I'm serious. And, I don't know if you guys hear noise, or if my voice isn't really coming out very well. If, I got some sort of, like, dude to help me with the audio, or a chick, I'm not. But, if I got someone to help me out with the audio, that'd be cool. Second, well, that actually was the second. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, now that I've wasted 44 seconds, let's go with this. Chapter 2, The Last Thing You Never See. When morning came, the rain still pounded on the windows, and there was a good-sized pool in my cell. Getting to my feet, I stretched out as much as I could, my metal shoulder aching a bit. It had been since the rain started, but sleeping made it worse. Water. Bloody Dagger was staring through the bars at me. Sneaky bitch. Oh, but she was giving me water. How nice. As I drank from the bottle, my pit buck went clickety-clack. Wait, what? Leaning down, I poked it with my nose. Still clicking. That was annoying. What the hell happened to it? All I wanted was my radio back. Still clicking. By Celestia's beard, stop clicking! Okay, Silverstorm may have taken over me because I smashed the stupid thing against the steel bars. Ain't that a kick in the head? It worked, though. Except, I'd never heard that song before, and DJ Pone 3 only had like 10 songs. Then, as if to taunt me, the song stopped and a DJ spoke. Except it wasn't DJ Pone 3, it was some older stallion with a voice like honey poured over thunder. Sometimes the only thing you can do after a kick to the head is get back up. How are we doing today, Dice? Because it's time for the news. Instead of excitement bordering on dash addiction, this pony was smooth, suave, and damn, that voice. He could talk to me all day long. After a failed raid of the Megaspell power station, the Mustangs are denying all responsibility. Their leader Roy had this to say. Listen, folks, I tells you it weren't us, no way, no how. Celestia above knows me and the house have always been friends, and I ain't never betrayed that trust. Wow, I heard a lot of untrustworthy ponies in my time, but that, yeah. So I knew one thing for sure, the Mustangs attacked a power station. When asked about the noticeable downsize in Mustang forces on the streets, Roy declined to comment. One more piece of news for you. A traveler from the north was found near the town of Bridal Hope in critical condition. After emergency surgery by a Watcher disciple, she reportedly made a full recovery. Just goes to show there's goodness in every pony if you know where to look. After a short seg, music resumed, leaving me dumbfounded. I was on the radio. Oh joy. Dr. Morrowind was too. And now he was dead. Maybe that was the Wasteland's way of punishing him for taking back a life it had so dutifully claimed. Well, that ruined my euphoria. Slinking back to my almost dry corner, I sighed, my chest heaving involuntarily. How come every pony I liked died? Except for Pearly, but hell, there was still time yet. Whiskey? I asked Bloody Dagger, prompting her to glare, daggers at me. Water was good and all, but whiskey was best. Just drink. Bullet wants to see you. So I drank. My pit buck still made that clicking sound, but it was drowned out by music. Were they going to escort me to Bullet's chambers? Were they aware the last raider I parlayed with got a kick out a window? Of course, that was Silverstorm, not me. Me? I was actually going to listen to what this bastard had to say. Also, I'd refrain from calling him a bastard to his face. They unlocked my cage, but not before having 4 more guards and Spitshine flanking me. At least 2 other weapons trained on me at all times. If I hadn't known better, I'd have thought I was dangerous. The little tour of their base took me through darkened rooms of horrid smells. At one point, an errant lightning bolt lit one of the rooms up fully. Only for a second, I was glad for that. Any longer and I would have retched. Ponies should not be inside out. Maybe they were actually taking me out back to shoot me. That'd be nice. Better than actually working for these monsters, at least. They finally led me to a clean room. Sitting behind a desk, writing something with the pen in his mouth, was Silver Bullet. Leave us. Good idea. I sat on my haunches facing him as the guards filed out. Don't try anything stupid, he said when the door slammed shut behind me. "'Kay." Are you serious? He asked, leaning his head forward. You would really work for me. Yes, I said as quick as I could, adding, but I don't mutilate ponies. He chuckled a bit before getting to his feet. Good. I took over this operation 2 months ago. It went rogue and turned raider when no pony was looking. Soon there will be no more mutilation, but my herd don't understand just yet. In time, though. Good. I never said we were doing good. Just less gruesome work. He sighed, walking closer to me, but keeping a good 10-foot distance. I have a job for you. Some pony in Bridal Hope has stolen something that belongs to me. He turned and paced dramatically, showing off his gray chain cutie mark. You need it back. Of course. Theft for a gang of raiders. Seems like fun. I'd performed guard duty for raiders for years, and that never bothered me. The Silver Storm in me demanded justice for the doctor, but the doctor was dead, and joining him in the grave did nothing for no pony. I need her fucking dead. Why me? I could kill her. My stomach heaved at the thought of being this bastard's bloody executioner, but it was that or death, and by the sounds of it, this mare had asked for it. What if he wants you to kill Pearly? My conscience asked. I ignored it. It wouldn't be. Kill some bitch. Still. Fuck the wasteland. Kill or die, what a choice. My bucks would make a fucking botch of it. Would kill half the damn village or set it on fire. Without Bridal Hope, trade would be fucked up from here to Wendon, and that's bad for every pony. It's the center between north and south and east and west. If the villagers left, or if, goddess forbid, the NCA or Steel Ranger took the opportunity to procure the town, no. She needs to die, and just her. Didn't answer my question. Because you're available? Because you're a good shot? Because your life is already indebted to me? Because finding another would take too long? Take your pick. If I had my way, I'd have you killed, but only an idiot lets tools go to waste. A tool. That's all I was. A tool for some raider to use and throw away. Fuck, I was a tool. And the reward? Freedom, if you want it. A full-time job if you like the work. I'll need caps. And if I was going to actually do this, I might as well make it worth my while. And a gun, for shooting. He grinned. The next hour or so was hammering out a deal. He did most of the talking, but I said a lot more. Eventually, I managed to get a deal for a new gun, armored bargain, and 800 caps. Half now, half on completion. All that in addition to my freedom, which I figured was priceless. Back in Marefort, Wildfire had often handled the bartering, and more than once she demanded I come with her, but so I guess I must have picked up a trick or two. Of course, all this was for killing another pony. I'd killed ponies before, sure, but this was different. Those ponies were raiders, and my target was just... don't think about it. Do it, kill or die, survive. When I was a little filly, I'd hated the rain. I'd like to run and play outside, but when the rain came, I was cooped inside Marefort like a bird in a cage. Then my mother had told me that the rain was actually Celestia's tears, that the goddess wept for her forlorn children and wept for what had brought them to such a place. I didn't like the rain anymore after that, but I felt like I understood it. Celestia's tears poured from the heavens. I could barely see 3 feet in front of me, and the strands of my white and pink striped mane falling in my face did not help. Though it did remind me I needed a mane cut. Sighing, I stopped, my hooves sinking deeper into the mud. Lifting my right leg up, I poked my pip buck with my nose. Silver Bullet had come from a stable, he said, and knew how to work the thing. Some pony, the doctor maybe, must have fixed the thing when I was dead. It had 1,001 uses, Bullet told me. Maps, inventory management, radio, something called SATs, and a Geiger counter, among other functions. I didn't know what half that shit was, but the map and radio were useful. It had been a long haul from Raider Base Camp to Bridal Springs, but not as slow as it'd been leaving. On my own, I could traverse ground much more quickly, mostly because I could climb steep hills and other stuff carts couldn't. Still, with my mind bearing down on me with all the weight of a bighorner, it felt like it took twice the time it did. I was so lost in my mind I didn't see the building until I ran headfirst into it. Choking down curses, I searched through the gray, rainy haze to get my bearings. According to my pip-buck map, I was at the casino. Good. From here I could... No, not a word. Shit, voice closing in. My heart leaped into my throat. Catching the sight of a large crate against the wall, I quickly dove behind it, praying to Luna that whoever was coming wasn't observant enough to see me. I know. I just worry, so don't give me that. Daisy, calm down. I'm sure they're fine, Estallion said. Fine? Her voice turned shrill as the hoofsteps closed in. We lost 2 caravans last week. Raiders, slavers, and worse live in those hills. Being a watcher caravan doesn't mean 2 shits that far away from Dice. Yeah, and the mayor sent word to the NCA, and you know how they are. Desperate to improve relations, so they set up a camp. I know. Still, I wish they'd write. Or get that Pegasus to write a letter, or something. She sighed heavily, her voice disturbingly close. So this is it? Yep, just came yesterday. Pearlie said to stash it back here till she can round some folks up to put it together. Think it'll actually work? Galatian approved. They use the same model. The mayor chuckled. Some pony knocked on the opposite side of the crate. Holding my breath, I refused to move. Luckily, due to the rain, they didn't linger that long, eventually filing away the way they came. Taking a deep sigh of relief, I peeked out behind my cover. Nothing but raindrops and dirt. Creeping out, I walked down the hill where I came and traveled in a wide circle before I hit the lower town. Given the rain and the fact that the casino was most likely the only building that didn't leak, I assumed most, if not all, the town ponies would be there. I eventually found myself pressed against a broken-down building. No noise. I quickly pushed open the back door of the house, my eyes scanning for signs of life. I was almost positive the house was uninhabited, but I had to be sure. I was almost mostly correct, as it was inhabited by giant crickets. Giant, of course, compared to regular crickets. After squashing them, I climbed the crumbling staircase to find most of the top floor open to the elements, as a good portion of the roof had been torn off. Trotting quickly under the section of the roof that managed to stay up, I leaned against a wall. I was safe from the rain here. Time to think. First things first, though. Using my teeth, I managed to unzip my metal leg's protective covering. It was little more than a plastic bag designed to keep the prosthetic dry, and it looked even uglier than the skeletal leg underneath. Lifting the leg up to eye level, I could hear the whirling and ticking of its internal components. I laid down on the floor so I could use the light of my pit buck to get a better look without, falling over. It really was an impressive bit of technology. Sure, from a distance it looked like some pony dipped my skeleton in adamantium and let me walk around on it, but up close its true genius shone through. There were wires so thin you could barely see them as they traced up and down the leg, and at the joints, if you squinted, you could see the gears and springs that kept the leg moving and natural looking. The doctor told me they'd used magic to actually attach it to my nervous system so I could control the whole thing mentally. Stretching it out, I marveled at the ease of movement, wondering how I never noticed how amazing it was before. Oh yeah, I hated it because I lost my real fucking leg. Sighing, I pulled the covering back on and fastened it. It made me wonder why they didn't just build waterproof legs. I turned the radio on, but kept it low as the rain started to lighten up outside my little enclave. From my vantage, I couldn't really see much of the town. The casino and clinic on its hill were clear, of course, and from the light coming out of it, it looked bursting with life. Good. The fewer the better. Fires continue to rage. Meanwhile, in the Dice wasteland, I've been getting reports that a slave company has taken to attacking trading caravans in the east in brazen daylight raids. NCA officials who have pledged to solve the slaver problem had this to say. It seems to me the slavers have responded to the NCA crackdown by ramping up their vileness. We'll flush them out of their caves soon enough and bring enlightenment to the Dice wasteland. You can bet on it. The radio whispered to me as I thought. I was almost positive my target would be at their house and not out at the casino. A stroke of good fortune if you ask me. Even still, I couldn't barge in, take the shot, grab the loot and leave. She'd scream and people would come running. I needed to hit her from a distance. Chewing on my lip, I juggled ideas on how, where, and when in my head. It was easier than thinking. In other news, riots have broken out when Ponytrons showed up to quell a protest in front of the Black Salamander Casino and Research Center. So far there, 13 protesters have been injured, 3 killed, and another 5 missing, along with at least a dozen Ponytrons in need of repair. Both the His Eyes and Galatians have yet to comment on this recent incident. Well, I turned the volume down so much it was nothing but a faint murmur to my ear. I couldn't risk being heard. Lightning flashed across the sky, and 2 seconds later, a boom shook the house so much I thought it was going to cave in around me. Time to act. Crawling back down the slippery steps, I walked out into the town, keeping myself wary. Even though the town felt abandoned, I snuck my way around. If a single person saw me, they might recognize me, and then I was dead. The rain had become so light, I couldn't tell if it was rain or simply a thick mist. Whatever the case, it didn't help my mane get any drier and made my tail stick to my flank in a most uncomfortable fashion. Ignoring it, I finally made my way to my destination, the abandoned schoolhouse. I pushed down on the handle. Locked. As thunder boomed above, I kicked the door open. Walking in, I quickly stomped 2 more giant bugs to death before searching for the stairs leading to the bell tower. I didn't even hear her walk in behind me. Hired gun. Her voice was strangely soft as she stood there. Lightning flashed behind her, illuminating her white coat, making it look beautiful and drenched. Hurley, I responded, dimly aware of the new gun pressing into my side. Backing up, I never took my gaze away from her. My stomach twisted itself into knots yet again. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make any other words form on my lips. Hurley, I repeated. What the hell is going on here? Where's every pony else? And what's with that gun? Ain't one of the 2 you brought with you? She just had to go and point out everything that was wrong with what was going on, didn't she? Was my head supposed to hurt so much? Don't ask. Leave, I said, the wavering in my voice betraying my attempt at confidence. Why, hun, She walked towards me. You shouldn't be here, I insisted, backing up and knocking desks over behind me. What the fuck? I'm not a good pony, I tried to explain as truthfully as I could. But you knew that. So what? What the hell happened? Why are you here? Where is every pony? What the fuck do you think you're doing sneaking around? I stopped. There was no point lying. She'd find out soon enough. Dead. She stepped back, shock clear on her face. Raiders came. We fought, then died. I'm sorry. Why are you still alive? Did you escape, or was I working for them? She didn't need to finish the question for me to understand, and I didn't need to reply for her to. She already knew the answer, I was sure. Why did she torture herself like this? I didn't want her to know. I'd hoped never to see her again. She was such a good pony, and I wasn't. Why, they killed them all, and now you're working for them? Needed cats. So that's it? Goddess, she looked like she was about to cry. You'd work for murderers if you got cats? I thought you were... Hired gun. She stopped and glared at me. My heart may have broken then. My name. It's who I am. You're a monster. Maybe, but on a scale of 1 to abomination, I was near the bottom. So you're here as an assassin? Is that it? Going to kill some fucking pony? Some innocent... I smiled sadly at her. Goddess, she was beautiful and a lot smarter than me, but if she truly believed any pony was innocent in the wasteland, she was the biggest fool I had ever met. Oh, you're a judge now. An executioner, too, to carry out the sentence. Is that it? If that's what it takes. When did you get so cold? I shivered. When did this room get so cold was a better question. Damn, this was going badly. Survival. The world sucks. Good ponies die. Bad ponies piss on the graves of heroes. Only thing I can do is survive. That may have been the longest string of words I had used since before I left Marefort the first time, and by far the most meaningful. It was necessary, though. She had to understand. She choked up. Should have figured no pony with hope left would change their name like yours. So what happened to you? Doc said you were beat up bad when he found you. Rival gang get you? Mark go wrong? Drug dealers? What? My brother shot me. Maybe if I told her the truth, then she would get it. It was stupid. I could have lied, pacified her till I could complete the job. But I never lied to another pony. Your brother. Her voice was somewhere in between disbelief and sadness. Yes, The whole room brightened as lightning flashed. Why? I tried to rescue him. Now she was laughing at me, or crying. Tears were streaming down her face. But she was laughing, though I could barely hear her over the sound of rolling thunder. You expect me to believe your brother shot you after trying to save him? Was it really that ridiculous? You're a fucking liar. So why are you really here? 'Cause that raider bullshit ain't fooling me. It's true. Then she wiped her tears away with her hoof. I'll just have to stop you before you kill some pony. Sighing, I shook my head. Suddenly 800 caps didn't seem like a deal anymore. No amount of caps would be enough if I had to fight Pearlie. My shoulder burned more painfully than it ever had before when she lifted her shotgun off her back and pointed it at me. You can't. She started opening her mouth, but I cut her off. I mean physically. I'm bigger, stronger, and a faster shot. You'll die. To save some pony, worth a shot. You don't even know who I'm killing. The rain had all but stopped, leaving only the thinnest hint pouring down on me. Looking through the scope of my newly obtained bolt-action sniper rifle, I could see the silhouette of my target on their window. Just a candlelight shadow, though. I couldn't take the shot, not yet. I moved the rifle, looking at Pearlie as she finally made it back to her farm. It had been surprisingly easy to convince her to leave once I told her who I was killing. Feuds were not my forte, but this one clearly ran deep. Sighing, I turned back to my mark. From my vantage point on the school bell tower, notably lacking a bell, I had full line of sight over the entire town. Like I'd suspected, only 2 ponies were in the town. The rest were in the casino gambling away what few caps they had. If I could be anywhere right now, it would be there, or in Pearlie's shack, or beside Wildfire. I shook the thought out of my head. No thinking. A yellow streak tore across the sky. Counting under my breath, I looked through the scope. 3, 2, 1. Thunder boomed. My mark's window blew open suddenly, so loud I thought I heard the clattering. Lightning broke the sky again like clockwork. 3, 2... Her head appeared in the window, trying desperately to close the window. 1. Thunder boomed in my ears. I didn't bite down. I didn't shoot. Shoot! My mind cried out at me. Shoot! Kill! I tried. With all my heart I did. But, damn it, I couldn't see my mark. All I could see is Wildfire, her face a bloody ruin as she died. My stomach heaved. Retching, I cursed myself. I had to do this. I knew, but... Lightning flashed. I peered through my scope. She got the window. She was closing it. All I had to do was take the shot. 3. I'd never have an easier shot. She was right there. A single bullet, and it would all be done. The wasteland would have another body, and I, my freedom. 2. Do it. Shoot. How hard could it be? I'm not a raider. Raiders did this shit for fun. I took no pleasure in it. It's different. But I... Survive, a voice inside me whispered. 1. The thunder masked my bullet. Thus ended the life of Nanny Jane. I didn't move for a long time. I just stood there, staring through the scope of my rifle. Her head had snapped back when the bullet hit, and blood sprayed out behind her. I couldn't see her now, though. Her corpse had fallen, hidden. In my mind, she was there, though, lying in a pool of blood with half her face torn off, telling me she was sorry. Maybe death would have been better. Was this really the only 2 choices the wasteland had? Die a hero or live a villain? Maybe that's why there were so few good ponies left. All of them had died out or had the goodness beaten out. I tried to be a good pony once. For that I lost my Wildfire, my lake, my family, my home. So now I'm a bad pony, an assassin. It made me lose something else. My heart felt cold, like it was missing something. something important. No matter what you did, you lost. Fuck the wasteland. Fuck the zebras and ponies what made it too. Maybe one day I'd learn the name of them what caused the apocalypse so I could damn them each to hell personally. Then after I died, I'd meet him there. I took my time going down the winding steps of the bell tower. I toyed briefly with the idea of falling down the stairs to my death, no less than I deserved. Still, I kept walking down the slick steps and never tripped. Did my gun always feel this heavy, burrowing into my side? I couldn't be sure. I choked back emotion. I just had to walk. Don't think. Move. I made it to the schoolroom where me and Pearlie had our little showdown. She was right, of course. Killing Nanny Jane was a mistake. Dying would have been better. Beat the wasteland, don't let it beat you. Die on your own terms, not live in its. After taking so much from me, did it really manage to take more? Did the wasteland take my soul? Celestia's tears fell with renewed vigor, soaking me to the bone. Only my metal leg stayed dry, and I couldn't even feel it. Moping about the rain? Yeah, I was a bit depressed. Slogging through mud, rain, and everything else, I finally made it to the Bridal Hope General Store. For a second, I nearly knocked, until I remembered what was on the other side. So I kicked open the door. Maybe some pony heard, but I really did not care. On the other side, I saw her. The wounds were so similar, I was sure it was the wasteland mocking me. The way her head was torn, the blood. Tears blurred my vision, but that only made them look even more like. I kept looking, though, forcing myself to. I watched as the blood dripped from her corpse into the pool. I saw the ripples the blood made, like rain falling on a lake. The way one eye rolled back, and the other was dangling off the side of her head, yes, I saw that too. This. I caused this. Maybe I was a bad pony. Maybe I was a killer, assassin, or whatever. But I was not a raider. A raider watching this would laugh, whereas I could only cry. They'd revel in it, whereas I could only retch again. I was sick. I was horrible. Evil, vile, and 1,000 other things, but at least I could have been worse. I had to keep reminding myself. My shoulder burned, mocking what I'd done. Still, I looked. I didn't stop looking until I felt the rising urge to retch again. The food the raiders served me before I left was gross enough going in. Coming out, it was twice as bad. Tearing my eyes away, I breathed deeply. Right. Package. I flicked the radio of my pip-buck back on and got to searching. Silver Bullet told me I would know what I was looking for when I saw it, but he was kind of an ass. Having no idea what this package was, I searched aimlessly, and when I found something good, including a healing potion and 3 grenades, I threw it in my saddlebags. No sense letting it go to waste. I just killed a mare, okay? Don't think too bad of me for something as minor as theft or grave robbing, whatever. Still nothing. Until I saw the door to the back. Of course. Nanny Jane told me not to look in there before. It'd only make sense that whatever she stole to send a raider assassin on her tail would have to be locked away. More proof of my idioticness if doing a job for an obviously evil raider band wasn't proof enough. That door was locked too. Sure, I could have found the key on Nanny Jane, but I couldn't bring myself to look again. So instead I kicked the door down. It may have been my imagination, but I thought I heard something squeak when it crashed open. The stairs twisted deep underground, dark, dirty, and dusty. Turning, I grabbed the candle holder from a nearby desk with my mouth and made my descent. As I walked, the candlelight made my shadow dance across the walls. For a second, my shadow looked small and afraid, and then huge with sharp teeth. Never for long, though, as the candle flickered wildly. When I reached the bottom of the stairs, the candle fell from my mouth. The package, I realized instantly. Such a light pink, it could almost be mistaken for white had the light illuminated further. It was chained to the wall. She was a filly. The package Nanny Jane stole was a little filly. There we go with the typical followed Equestria footnote. Level up. Skill notes. Guns 50. And along with an author's note. Thank you, first and foremost, to Kat, without whom this story would never exist. A very special thanks to the BS dude for his effort in making this shit readable. No one. Well, yeah, thanks for listening to this. I don't know why you are, but let me reiterate. I'm very sorry that this took forever. I will do my best to make sure that I don't take multiple months to upload another thing. Second, you can probably tell that the audio quality in this video is not as good as it could be. If I could get someone to help me with that, that would be really cool. It's probably large part my microphone, but anyone that can help, that would be appreciated. That is my thing, so hopefully part 4 will come up soon. Want it, read it spell. Works every time. That's my cool sign off. 'Cause I'm cool. Very cool.